Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. This is a quick little live video. We have to be quick because I'm on my way to get married, and we can't let Katie know that I'm actually out and about making a video for you.
Honey.
Well, okay, so much for that. So anyway, folks, big news today. This is why I am taking a minute of my time. Again, on the way to get married and everything. This is unlikely, very, very unlikely to be a long live stream, and we will have no drama on this one. But Governor Newsom has officially signed AB5. My friends over at MWM, I'm sorry guys, I'm blanking. I can't believe mobile workers. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you guys. I really do. They sent me this, and this is from the Office of the Governor to members of the California Assembly. Assembly Bill 5 is a landmark legislation for workers and our economy. It will help reduce worker misclassification, workers being wrongfully classified as independent contractors rather than employees, which erodes basic worker protections like the minimum wage, paid sick days, and health insurance benefits. The hollowing out of the middle class has been 40 years in the making, and the need to create lasting economic security for our workforce demands action. Assembly Bill 5 is an important step. A next step is creating pathways for more workers to form a union, collectively bargaining to earn more and have a stronger voice at work, all while preserving flexibility and innovation. In this spirit, I will convene leaders from the legislature, the labor movement, and the business community to support innovation and a more inclusive economy by stepping in where the federal government has fallen short and granted workers excluded from the National Labor Relations Act the right to organize and collectively bargain. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. This was worth taking a moment out of our wedding week to discuss, right, honey? Anyway, so yeah, let's take just a couple minutes to really look over, because here's the thing. Emotions are going to be running high. I think the vast majority of the people watching my channel are in favor of this being signed. I even see some of the excitement. I also see in the chat some of the hesitation, maybe even some of the anger at some point. And let's talk about this really quick. So, you know, Assembly Bill 5 is landmark legislation for workers in the economy. That's probably true. It will help reduce worker misclassification, which I think this is what the main problem is. There is a misclassification going on. I mean, I've said this multiple times. Whether you want to believe it or not, you are being treated like employees. I mean, they want to act like you're not employees, but you are. I mean, as one person said so elegantly, flexibility goes out the window if you're working 60 hours a week. So I agree with that. And here's the thing. I also acknowledge that this is going to be a blow for some people. Some people do like things the way they are. We can't dismiss their concerns. Some of those concerns are valid. Some of those concerns are absolutely valid. But as I've said multiple times, if Uber and Lyft would have gotten their stuff together sooner and actually been fair from day one like they were when they started and stayed fair, we wouldn't be in this place. It's kind of like the whole loot box thing with the video games. I bring it up over and over because the video game companies are fighting loot box regulation. And if they were not selling gambling mechanics to kids, they would probably not be under the threat of regulation. Uber and Lyft had years to fix this by themselves. In fact, they almost broke my heart in many ways, because as someone who is a registered Republican, I don't want to limit business, and Uber and Lyft was so good for everyone. They created thousands of jobs in midair, just poof, many jobs, new ways to make money, flexibility, technically your own boss. It was wonderful. And then, oh, they chipped away at it more and more and more, to the point where it's like, now we're employee in name, only. We're you're independent in name only. You are really employees, and you are treating us no better than Walmart or Amazon is treating the workers. So Assembly Bill 5 is a necessary evil, or maybe it's a necessary good. Who knows? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be law January 1st. And by the way, I also see, Right to Professors live streaming, so I'm sorry, Torsten. I don't normally like to compete with live streams like that, but this was totally worth taking a moment out of my wedding trip to do this. Right, honey?
Yeah.
Okay, see, she's coming around to it. And, oh, by the way, merge onto the 605 when you get the chance. Yeah, it's crazy here, folks. But it doesn't mean on January 1st, everything's going to magically change. I fully anticipate Uber and Lyft to sue California over this. I expect them to fight this. They are still committing lots of money to putting this measure on the ballot and having people vote on it. I don't know if they can actually do that. I'm assuming there's a way they can, unfortunately. So this is not a far from over fight. And in fact, if they do get it on the ballot, don't be too surprised if the voters vote against it, because Uber and Lyft will, of course, and DoorDash will point out the skyrocketing prices people are going to pay. And by the way, someone just commented, yes, some drivers might actually sue California over this. Like, who knows? There's a lot of ways this can go down. It's, and again, I personally feel like this was something that needed to happen. It's not something I wanted to happen. It was my ideal situation that Uber and Lyft would come to their senses. In fact, you know what, honey? I don't really need this right now because I finished reading it. So there you go.
Thanks.
That gonna help a lot?
Yes.
Okay. We've got the map. Right, Julie says, just think, Kevin and Katie, when you come back, you will be married.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And one of the things you're gonna have to do as my wife, right? We're gonna have to get a Mrs. Apptrepreneur beanie.
I'll think about it.
Compromise, honey. I'm going to see Little Women with you this year. Anyway, and then there's a lot of question because 10 Marino is saying, what will happen? Will they limit our work hours? I mean, and just Mev Mallory says, I have an attorney on standby. So here's the thing. Yeah, I'm assuming, for example, you can't just work overtime and not get time and a half. I'm assuming that's going to be one of the things. I'm assuming there will be some limitations on how much you can drive. By the way, someone says your wife is pretty.
Aww.
We don't know 100% what's going to happen with all of this. We don't know how they can comply. I mean, Uber and Lyft have committed to fighting it. And I think there might even be some loopholes on how they can get away around it. Heck, they might even try to pull that whole, they've been trying recently to say that drivers are not core to their business. And the reason they're saying it's not core to their business is because that's kind of like a stalling tactic. It's a stalling tactic that says, they're not really driving for us, so we're not a driving company. They're going to do things like that to just delay this as long as possible. By the way, that this happened, thumbs down if you are unhappy that AB5 got passed. Be honest. Be absolutely honest. This time, the thumbs up and thumbs down is not whether or not you like me or not. The thumbs up and thumbs down is whether or not you are happy this has happened. If you're happy, thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Don't worry. I've been getting a lot of down votes recently, so it's perfectly fine by me. So a lot of congratulations here, guys. We appreciate, but yeah, we'll keep the focus on AB5 for the moment, though. So yeah, there are some things that I do. The Uber and Lyft apps do have fail-safe features in there where if you drive too long, they will lock you out of the app. So they're kind of already doing this, obviously. Other things, they will probably lay a lot of drivers off because now they can do that. They don't need 100,000 employees in California. And in fact, for the people with star grades, this is where the star grade system might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit more important than we realize, because they are going to definitely like keep the top of the top. Oh, hey, I'm not driving, she's driving, but right here, Lisa, she was $25.
Oh, thank you.
She says, I see you driving, so here's some gas money. Drive carefully. Thank you so much. I don't have the water with me, but I would drink to your super chat if I... Oh, Salvador says they're going to limit drivers to 29 hours weekly. You know, that is possible. We did see something like that. It's like, well, no, it's not that big of a deal, really. It's just a gesture. It's a fun gesture I do, but no, focus driving. Know that when Obamacare became law, a lot of employees were turned from full-time to part-time to avoid paying the health care. Well, that's probably going to happen with Uber drivers. In fact, if that might even be less layoffs than you hope, they might keep more drivers and just have them more part-time. But then there's some people who they can't live on part-time, they need full-time. So it's going to be, and that's the other thing, Heidi Barnes, where he says, no worries, just work multiple apps to get more hours. And see, that's another thing that you kind of wonder about, because when you're an employee, there's a lot of employees who actually put in their contracts that you cannot work for their competitors. So who knows, that might not be an option anymore. Switching between the apps might become a thing of the past. There are some downsides, and of course my biggest concern outside of the drivers is I didn't realize how much potentially this would hurt like the nursing and health industry, because there's a lot of people like psychologists and specialists who don't work full-time hours because they're specialists. They're independent contractors, and they might need to be classified as employees now, and that might change the medical profession to a certain extent. Not saying that's right now it has to be your biggest concern, we worry about ourselves, but that is something that could happen. 100 people are... Here's the thing, folks, if you're happy about AB5 being signed, thumbs up. If you're unhappy, thumbs down. Be honest. So...
Yay, 100 people.
100 people. Woo! Yep, so... It's, and this is why on my channel, I've talked to people that, like, this is why there's been some confusion about where I stand on this, because I wanted to get everyone's side of the story. So, like, when we went to the rally against AB5 in California, I was for AB5. But people think based on, because I didn't comment, I was against it. It's like, no, I actually support it, but I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to get their opinion on AB5. And some people there where I stood on that, but they talked to me anyway. It was their time to talk about this. Now, here's the thing. Again, I don't know where this goes, because I mean, Uber and Lyft might sue, and who knows, maybe if they sue and if they change the way they treat the drivers and let them be the true independent contractors that they are, maybe it can go away. Maybe they can defeat it. I mean, I've always assumed like a sidecar system would have been the best system, where it's like, hey, there is a minimum rate that drives for. But after doing some rides and getting some experience and getting some accolades and stuff, the drivers could start being a little bit more flexible, and they could start charging their own prices after so many trips. They will start saying, okay, this is what we charge. These are the amenities we feature that other people don't. Actually make it competitive. And then people could actually look on the app, pick, hey, I want a much nicer car. I want a cool car. They look at the reviews. This person has this. Like, if they did a system like that, Dark Road Run would be making a killing at Uber, because his setup is so awesome. You can like watch anime on the back seats. You can play a video game on the ceiling of his car. like if those things would be highlighted when it came time for people to pick their car, like he could be charging $4 or $5 a mile because it's an experience at that point. It's not just a ride. And you could start like booking people in advance, like the riders could book the drivers. You could do all those things. And they really should have been focusing on that, because you do things like that, yeah, it kind of doesn't have the whole one price for everyone, and you might get stuck in an area where you don't have the lowest of the lowest prices, but you know, people learn pretty fast, like you get what you pay for. I mean, it just drives me bonkers that Lyft is charging 35 cents a mile. That is not how it's going. That's not good. So, you know, Uber and Lyft, there was plenty of opportunities for them to fix this. So, do I feel bad because of what could have been? Yes, I do. When I think of, if they were honest companies, this was such a great thing when it started. It could have been a heck of a lot better. Oh, Cliff gave us $10. Thank you so much for the super chat. Congrats on your union. May it last forever and ever and ever.
Thank you.
Yes, it will last forever and ever and ever until death do us part or she gets sick of me. I'm kidding, honey. I'm kidding, honey. I'm kidding.
Good.
I'm really excited. I didn't sleep very well last night because I was so excited about this trip. And I was editing the week's worth of video. So there's gonna be a new video tomorrow, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. So yes. George says that's silence. Because you gave that silent.
Oh.
Like, you know. Yes, her silence is so cute. That's why I like torturing her sometimes. Yeah. So Ryan says I have to go to my college class. Great day. Congratulations on your wedding. I don't get to talk to you for Saturday. Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's unlikely I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams. Like, this was worth doing a live stream though, because this is a big deal. Now we've pretty much just been meandering a little bit. So you know, just kind of talking about the pros and cons. I'm actually surprised the connection has held as well as it's. Maybe we'll at least get it to 20-25 minutes and then we'll kind of call it a day. So I see you're trying to get off. That's why. I mean, apparently Donald Trump is in the area, so we might hit some traffic because some roads are going to be closed here. So yeah, kind of hope that's why I was hoping we could have left a little earlier, but you know, she had to work, so. And I slept in. By the way, we've also got Perry in the back. I don't know if you can see him. He's in the he's in his little house right there. Mister, your jokes are gonna get you a lot of time on the couch sleeping. Oh. She already makes me sleep on the couch. She already makes me sleep on the couch. Do you think NY will be going through the same thing anytime soon? That's a good question, because not to pump my own videos from earlier today, but I did do a video that did not get a lot of views, probably because that other video was up and people were more interested in that one, where Seattle is considering a minimum wage and rideshare tax. And I hear New York, of course. Anything I say, go to NYC Driver Logs channel, and because he's the one who corrects me on all this information that I get wrong. But oh, speaking of which, he's in the chat room. Hey Noah, how you doing? Last I checked, New York was keeping their restrictions and they wanted to expand them. To what exactly, I don't know. I'm gonna lean back so that I'm not blocking her rear view mirror there. Okay. So he probably has much more information on what Uber wants to do with that. I try, I mess it up all the time. New York is such a different beast, but I think this will spread, because California does kind of set the tone for a lot of things. good or for better. I think there's some things that it's like, yeah, that's good. It was just not. I just don't think that should be the case. So, and again, as I said earlier, I've got mixed feelings. You know, let's take a moment and pause about the about what my feelings are about this or not. Because here's the thing: there were a lot of people who were very passionate about this. To a lot of people who did the caravan, who went to Capitol Hill to protest, who wrote letters, who called their congressman, their congresswoman, who, you know, reached out to the governor. You know what? Savor this moment. It paid off. Oh, thank you, Larry Crow, for the 1999 super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So the people who did all these things, you know what? It probably doesn't mean much coming from me. It probably doesn't, but thank you for doing it. Thank you for your time. I joined you for some of it. There were things I wish I could have also joined you for. Going to be the group of drivers who actually particularly guide for the the rideshare workers. I'm blanking on all their names. I feel so bad right now. Enjoy today. Unfortunately, the fight is you know, we will, but appreciate what you did. And for those of you who fought against AB5, who didn't want this to happen, I understand your concern. There will be another day for you to fight. I want to be encouraging to everyone. We all need to talk, and hopefully we could find a middle to end this live stream. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for, oh, okay, I'm back. Okay, good. And now we're running slow. We're like, the car's moving slow. So, okay, so there will be plenty of opportunity for everyone to, I'm still hoping, like, hey, if AB5 gets challenged, hopefully there could be a middle ground. Hopefully there can be a middle ground and something that can please a little bit of everyone. Although the middle ground also has a chance of pleasing absolutely no one. That's just kind of the way life is sometimes, though. Some people get their way, some people don't. But for everyone who felt passionate about this happening, and everyone who felt passionate about this not happening, who spent the time to voice their concerns and get involved, whether I agree with you or not, on your stance, I should say. The fact that you got involved and you took it seriously, hey, most people don't even do that. In fact, the vast majority of people, they get in their car and they drive and it's like, fine, 35 cents a mile. And they don't care. And hey, you know, it's their right to not care, but for those who cared, it means a lot to people like who you're fighting for. So thank you. It's your day. So we hit 25 minutes. I think that's good. That's a good, I also want to I don't want this to go too long, because the last thing I want is this to be like an hour-long video, because then I think less people would be likely to watch any of it, and more of this is important than is not. So anyway, so thank you for fighting for everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Again, if you're happy that AB5 got passed, thumbs up. If you're not happy, thumbs down. You're allowed to be honest. I can take the dislikes at this point. And you know, and like I said, next week's videos are all planned out. It's going to be drama-free for at least a week. And I should keep my channel drama-free and more positive, right, honey? Yes. Thank you again so much for the super chats. And now, you know what? No, we're not gonna do the obligatory close off. Thank you. Share, comment, and take care of yourselves. We'll see if we can find a way to live stream the first dance. That'd be fun, right?
That would be fun.
Yeah. That would be fun. We did not take any dancing lessons whatsoever. So, wait, no, we took one lesson, and then I lost the sponsorship, so we couldn't continue. But yeah, you know, that happens. That happens. It's not about the dance. It's about who you're dancing with.
Yes.
I'm actually really curious to see how your dad dances. He doesn't strike me as much of a dancer. I'm sure he'll like dancing with you, though.
Yes.
Yes. So, all right. So, anyway, take care, everyone. Have a good one.